I am absolutely tickled to death, not literally, but close, to have in studio my dear friend, Hugh Hewitt. Hugh, welcome to 100 Huntley.
Eric, it is great to be here. Can we just keep talking like we were doing before they turned the camera on?
I know, we just talk about anything. I
Forever.
see what the viewers at home don't know is that Hugh and I have become friends, despite our bitter differences in the fact that he owes me $100,000. And the fact is that you, when I get talking to you, you're one of these people. People don't know this.
People are going to believe
I know
this
they
stuff.
are. Tough luck. No, the thing is this. What people don't know about you, Hugh, is that you are an interviewer. You are a professional talker. You talk to people on the radio, on your syndicated program, nationally syndicated program, every single day. How many people have you interviewed over the years?
At least 20,000. What they don't know about you is that among the 20,000 is Eric Metaxas. Before you were famous for Bonhoeffer,
Right.
back when you were writing great books on theology
Right.
and Wilberforce and other people.
You tossed me a bone.
Not a bone, good interviews. and you're extraordinary on the radio as you're even better on television, but we've been friends for a while.
That's nice. Well, the thing, I say this because you, whenever I get talking to you, because you're a professional talker, thinker, and because people can listen to you on the radio and your website and all this kind of stuff, it's hard to focus with you because you're one of those people that when I get talking to you, I want to go in every direction because you can follow. We've got to tell folks, I'm going to interview now about your book. And the title of your book?
Is The Happiest Life.
The Happiest Life. There's a blurb on the back of the book, very prominent, from Eric Metaxas, the author of Bonhoeffer. And he just goes on and on about what a great book this is, because I read the book and I did not think anyone could pull off a book on how can I be more happy. You pulled it off.
Can we tell people about the science of blurbing?
No.
Oh, come on, we have to tell them.
Hold on. See? You see what I said? Today I want to focus on why people should know about this book and buy this book. And I will allow you, because I love you, to talk about the science of blurbing.
The science of blurbing is on the back of The Happiest Life. And my friend Frank Lunch...
People don't even know. What is a blurb? A blurb is those things on books. So-and-so says, buy this book. That's called a blurb.
That's okay. A blurb. And there's a science to blurbing. And you've got to get people to blurb a book. And Eric is a very famous author, gets a lot of requests. And as a radio talk show host, I get a lot of requests. And it's kind of hard to figure out which ones to blurb.
Yes.
And so the science of blurbing is a combination of whom do you most admire and whom will sell the most books. And so prominently featured as my three big blurbs are Eric Metaxas, Dennis Prager, and Archbishop Charles Chaput of Philadelphia. Three men of faith,
yes.
Three individuals from completely different backgrounds. Of course, you're evangelical. Dennis is religious Jewish, and Archbishop Chaput, as the title gives away, is Catholic.
Right.
And the three of them all said the same thing, it works. And that's why I wrote The Happiest Life.
Yes.
It's reverse engineering my 20,000 interviews into a condensed bit of wisdom as to what the happiest people I've interviewed are.
Okay, now that's the thing. Is like when I was reading the book first, and I read it in manuscript form, and I thought, okay, this is a book about how can I be more happy. Why did you even think that you would want to write a book on how to be happy?
Because as you know from interviewing people, they always ask you, who is your favorite interview, right?
Yeah.
People, who have you interviewed that you like the most? And I always say, Richard Dreyfuss, Julie Andrews, George W. Bush. You know, I have a stock group, Willie Brown, Rick Warren, all the different people.
Yeah.
They usually will step forward, and they all have in common enthusiasm, and they're all very encouraging, as you have enthusiasm in common. You encourage your guests. You have a lot of energy. You have empathy where appropriate. You have good humor. You're gracious. And
Thank you. Would you care to stare at the camera and repeat that?
Well, no, I'm just talking about the 7 gifts that make
Okay.
people happy. And you are generally, I've seen you on your grumpy days, a happy guy.
Okay, but what you're saying in this book, because I read this, you're saying that these do not need to be innate qualities, that we can cultivate them. And that's what impressed me. I thought I wanted to give this book to everybody I know who's not that happy. I'm not going to mention names, but you know who you are. And I said, because if they do some of these things, it will change their life.
Sure.
So give us some tips.
If you're a terrible golfer and you go hit range balls,
Yeah.
you might still be a terrible golfer, but you'll be less terrible golfer.
You'll be a better terrible golfer.
Terrible golfer. And so if you're an unhappy person, if you do certain things
Yeah.
that you don't want to do, that are not intuitive, that in fact you find maybe even a bit repulsive and counterintuitive, if you encourage people, every single person, from the door that you leave to the desk that you sit down to, if you encourage them, if you encourage a TSA agent, you will be a happier person. Nobody encourages a TSA agent.
And there's a good reason for that.
No, there's not. Have you ever encouraged a TSA agent for doing a good job?
I don't think so.
Yeah, and so they are always a fountain of gratitude when you do it, and that splashes on you, makes your day better.
Right.
And so and good humor, you know Dennis Prager, our mutual friend. Dennis is always full of great good humor, ebullient. The late Chuck Colson, who was your mentor and for whom you've taken up his ministry, was always just a big balloon, a hot air balloon of happiness floating over everyone and just doing this all the time.
Right.
These are good things.
Wow. Okay, so the thing that struck me, beyond what I've already said has struck me about your book was you talk about gift giving. I thought that was really neat. I mean, I know you don't intend this because I know that you're a humble person, but what comes across to me from reading the book is how extraordinary you are and how you have practiced these things very deliberately, and that you know what is the right thing to do and you do it. And gift giving is a big one, especially any fathers or husbands watching at home. This idea of being really proactive and saying that I'm going to do this because it's the right thing to do and because it will bless my wife, whoever you give a gift to. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I'm a product of good teachers, mentors.
Yes, okay.
Martin Burns, who produced my television series in Los Angeles for a dozen years.
That's the
late
PBS
Martin
show.
Burns, PBS show called Life and Times, which aired in L.A. for 15 years.
Right.
Martin was our producer. He taught me energy. Before we went on the scene, every day, every single day, the red light would go on. Last word he'd say is energy. Don't sit there like a lump. And so he taught me energy. Enthusiasm was taught to me by a wonderful high school teacher by the name of Ron Karenbauer, who said, I'm teaching you how to, is it decline verbs, declension of nouns? I can't remember now because it's 1,000 years ago.
I only know the word declension.
And he said, this is not fun, but I'm going to try to pretend like I'm interested in teaching you how to do this to verbs.
Right.
And enthusiasm has it. So I had great teachers. I'm sure you did as well. Right through people at Harvard, in your case, that other school down the road, who were full of a love of their particular expertise. Harvey Mansfield at Harvard or at law school. I had great professors at Michigan. So I've had great role models.
Yeah. Well, look, I'm glad that we haven't gotten into the nuts and bolts of your book because I want people to buy the book, The Happiest Life by my friend Hugh Hewitt. Honestly, it works. It's the sort of thing that you can give to friends that I have already given to many people, not because I'm trying to pump your book, but because I want my friends to be happier. Hugh, it is a privilege always to be with you and to talk to you. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me, Eric.
All right.